Did you see that shit? MMA podcast. Hosted by mixed martial arts journalist Mike Strauss, aka Strauss21, and Chicago's #1 underground comedian, Apollo Taj Mahal.
Thank you for listening. I am Mike Strauss, aka Strauss21, with Chicago's #1 underground comedian, Apollo Taj Mahal. We appreciate it, guys. If you like the interview, and I know you will, be sure to go ahead and listen to the full episode. You can find it on our website, didyousseethatshit.com, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, pretty much wherever you find your favorite podcast. Be sure to listen to the whole episode. We appreciate it very much, guys. I want to welcome Cody the Spartan Stamann to the show. He's one of the best bantamweights in the world. Not too many guys know about him, but I tell you what, they're going to know about him because he's 16-1. He has a huge fight coming up at UFC 222 against Bryan Caraway. What's going on, Cody?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Great to hear from you.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You are just about a month away from this big fight. UFC 222. We just lost Max Holloway, but it's still a really stacked card. You have a big fight coming up against Caraway. How do you feel, man, just about a month away?
I feel great. I felt like I could have fought 2 weeks ago, honestly. I was going to fight Pedro Munoz February 3rd, so I've pretty much been in a training camp since before Christmas.
Wow.
I'm already 8 weeks in, so I feel great. My weight's great. Might do the longest training camp of my life. Get ready.
The old adage is, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right?
That's right. I mean, I'm a guy that's been always in the gym. Obviously, the pace changes as soon as you have a fight. The mentality changes. But, I'm always in decent shape. I took my UFC debut on 5 days' notice.
Yeah, you're a guy that always, you could tell, you could tell the guys that cut corners. You're a guy that doesn't look like he cuts many corners. Your last fight, man, against Tom DeQuesnoy, you took a hard-earned split decision. I think they got it right. You deserved it. You opened a lot of people's eyes in that performance. Were you happy with the way that you performed?
No, if I could go back, I think I could have finished Tom. I was really hesitant. I might have bought a little bit of his hype leading into the fight. I didn't really open up until probably the second round. But, I'm happy I got the win. Learning experience, I guess I need to focus a little more on myself and worry a little less about the guy I'm fighting.
That's very honest of you, man, because I don't know if too many guys would have admitted that, but, that's a quality that I truly admire about you. That you're able to not only admit that, but, learn from that and grow from that. Personally, that's why I think you're going to take the next step. I think that you're going to be a top 15 guy, eventually sooner rather than later. One of the sites I write for, Cage Side Press, I put out a piece earlier this year about the 18 guys or girls to watch for in 2018, and you were one of them. But what are your plans for this year? Where do you want to be?
Well, March 4th, I'll be in the top 10. Beating a guy that's number 7, they had to put me in the top 10. And beating him, I'll put on Bryan Caraway. Everyone in the top 10 is going to know who I am.
Hey, Cody, it's me, Apollo. Definitely, man. I believe you can truly do it. And you came into the UFC red hot after, what you did outside of the UFC. And you came in and, man, you just looked phenomenal. One thing I heard you talk about your last fight, you were a little bit disappointed that you didn't get to fight on the Detroit card. Do you really just want to fight the best of the best at any time you can?
Yeah, I think I just really want to fight the best guys. I don't care when, where it is. I want the elite competition. I don't want to be a guy that kind of lingers in the top 20, just kind of win-loss in the UFC. I want to be a contender. That's always been a goal of mine. I think that if I'm setting high goals for myself, it forces me to wake up every day and push myself just a little bit more. So, I didn't get in this sport to be second place. I want to be the champ.
For sure, absolutely. Let me ask you, man, does it bother you when guys, when they talk about 135ers, when they don't mention you as one of the best?
No, I think it just keeps me hungry. You don't get anything in the sport you don't earn. That's one thing I love about MMA is you have to go out and win fights. All the talk, all the bullshit, it's part of the sport, but ultimately, if you don't go out there and beat elite-level guys, everybody forgets who you are.
That's true.
So, as much as the talk and all that is important, you still got to win fights. And, I'm not at a point, I haven't earned that spot yet. So, I still have a lot of hard work in front of me, a lot of tough fights in front of me, so that I am mentioned in that. I can't really sit around and be bitter about it. It doesn't really do me any good. All I have to do is, be in the gym every day and just keep getting better to the point where, nobody can ignore me.
Man, I love the modesty, brother. I really do. Are you still at Michigan top team with Darren Cruikshank?
Yep.
Man, I think Darren's one of the guys that really doesn't get his due. I think, the guys that really know the sport, we appreciate him. But I don't think the average person appreciates how good Cruikshank is. Can you speak to just how he has really helped you grow as a martial artist?
Yeah, so, Darren, he's a great training partner for a lot of reasons. One is because he's probably the most athletic human I've ever met in my life. He can imitate anyone, so throughout my entire career, I've always had a lot of rounds with pretty much the guy I'm fighting. He can watch him and do exactly what he does. So, in that regard, he's irreplaceable. He can be pretty much anybody. But, he's also one of those guys that kind of taught me, what kind of hard work it takes to be at that elite level. We lived together, we trained together for a really long time, so I got to see everything that he did, and then, I got to see his path into the UFC. So, I know what it takes to make it to that level, so I'm going to, kind of follow in his footsteps.
Having a guy like Darren that can duplicate your upcoming opponent, that's a huge advantage for you as a fighter. Let me ask you, man, what do you think of the TJ and DJ thing? What do you think of him coming down to fight DJ?
I think it's great for the sport. I think there's going to be a lot of eyes in that fight. A lot of people are going to want to see that. I just hate how these guys take, half a year hiatuses. The belt gets set on a shelf for, 10 months. I realize there's a business aspect to this game, but people want to see guys fighting for that belt.
Mm-hmm.
There's no money in it exchanging hands all the time. So, people are really, really careful not to take fights if they don't have to. Like, you see DJ just decline the fight against Garbrandt.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been a really, really cool main event. That would have brought a lot of eyes to the card, but, I guess I can't blame him from a personal standpoint.
Yeah, Cody, one thing, talking about people moving in weight, you fought at both featherweight and bantamweight, and I know, weight cutting is just a pain in the butt. I only did it in high school. Having to do it as a profession is ridiculous. Do you see yourself ever moving back up to featherweight, or do you plan on sticking at bantamweight for, permanent?
I think I'll have the most success in UFC at bantamweight. I have nothing against going to featherweight to fight somebody. Obviously, I don't like cutting weight. No one does. So if the UFC ever asked me to fight at 145, I would definitely say yes. But it would have to be somebody that would, further my career. Otherwise, I wouldn't take that fight.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for you unless it was, both financially and professionally worth it on your end. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, man?
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. Check me out March 3rd. I'm going to put a beating on that old man, Bryan Caraway.
I know. I for one can't wait, man. Could you do us a favor? We kind of have a tradition at the show. Could you say this is Cody Stamann and you're listening to the Did You See That Shit MMA podcast?
Okay, this is Cody Stamann and you're listening to the Did You See That Shit podcast.
I appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no worries.